patient A, B, 3 times 5, exhibit A, shoulder surgery. Okay, so these are the notes that we're going to hand off and have the patient sign. That's all of these files here. This surgery is for the rotator cuff tear on the patient's shoulder. So we will assess the tear volume and go from there, okay? So I am going to go through each step, just telling you right now before we delve into the surgery, okay? So first, we're going to assess tear pattern of the rotator cuff tear, and then we're going to assess the delaminated cuff tear layers and reduce the layers at different points. We're also going to use our dual fiber tech construct, as well as the 2.56 fiber tech. Then we're going to use the retrieve repair searcher and unlock the anterior anchor through lateral portal of the shoulder. I hope you all take notes because this is a very, very important procedure, and hopefully it makes the idea of surgery a little less scary now that you have an idea of what goes on during a shoulder repair. Now I know you are a very, very overworked resident physician, and I get that. Residency can be very, very overwhelming. So what I want you to do with me before we get started on this surgery is just take a couple deep breaths in and out, okay? Let's go ahead and do it. When I count to 5, let's give a deep breath in and then a deep breath out, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Now just sit and relax and just sit back with your notepad and observe me delicately and precisely performing on this patient. So now let's go get the patient. Let's begin. Hi guys. So in today's surgery, I am going to be using a multitude of different surgical tools, and I am going to take you on a little tour now. Here is the dual fiber tip construct that we will be working with. Here is the suture tape that we will be working with. Here is the percutaneous portal. Is the self-punching swivel lock. Here is the megaloader. Here is the repair searcher. Here's the mallet, eyelets. Is the scorpion searcher passer. So I begin by making a small incision on the shoulder. I gently cut through the piece that we want to operate on, and I take my surgical pliers and open up that lock a bit more, and my surgical scissors to get that cut that I want. And once it's to my liking, I take my mallet and my eyelet, as well as the suture tube, and I make sure it's in place, and then I go back to my eyelet and my mallet and really search the layers to see which point we need to work on first. I take more of the serger tubing and make sure I cut it to the precise fit. And I go ahead and place that under the first layer. And I make sure that it's all in place without being knotted. This is a knotless mechanism. And then I take the other serger and I place that in accordingly. Now I take the percutaneous structure to open up that shoulder a bit. And then I take the other serger tape and place it through the percutaneous structure accordingly. Making sure to do soft loops instead of tight knots, and I take the eyelet again to make sure everything's level. And then I separate the layers with my mallet. And then I take the 3 different main types of repair serger and put them through the swivel repair tool and make sure to do 1 soft loop on each layer. And then take the first one back through the loop. And then repeat with the anterior and posterior layers of that tear structure, each with a different colored serger repair tape. Pull gently and loop it back through. And we'll do this one more time with the anterior section. We'll gently place that in and pull slightly and loop it back through. And then we're going to want to cut each tail of the repair sergers like so. Now we're going to take the self-punching swivel lock as well as the percutaneous structure, and we're going to mallet up to the shoulder bone until it is locked in. We want to create tension on that bone. Okay, so we've got the patient sewn back up. She's just now waking up from anesthesia, and the procedure went very well. Make sure to comment down below any questions or requests you have to learn from me next time. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you are not already. Thanks, guys.